Favor the sunshine and the really low dew points for this time of the year. We're looking at numbers across the area on either side of the 60-degree mark. It feels really nice outside. The METAR has gone crazy up there in Dalton. There is no way in the world you have a dew point of 81 degrees. Everybody else, what you see is what you get right now, and that's some dry air, but the numbers are on the move. In fact, at the start of the 5 o'clock show, we were at 58 degrees for a dew point, and now we're at 61. So this is why. Winds are coming in. It says variable at this moment, but it's a south wind that is sneaking in, and that southerly flow will support the rising of the dew point temperature. So we're at 61 degrees right now for a dew point. We can deal with that. 85 degrees. Festivities in and around the game are going to be okay. No weather worries at all. The heat's not a problem. Cloud's not a problem, and certainly no rain or storm activity to speak of. The numbers falling down into the 70s and eventually the 60s overnight. The vibe of the weather will change as we get deeper into the week, and that's on the backs of an increasing dew point temperature. By Thursday, tomorrow afternoon, you're going to feel a little bit of a singe in the air, and then Friday going into the weekend, that's when those numbers in some cases surpass 70 degrees for a feels like temperature. Adding that to the mix, we're going to have feels like temperatures, I should say, in the 90s. And that's Friday afternoon and around 6 o'clock going into the evening hours. But it's Saturday and Sunday in which the heat will be rather oppressive. 95 for a heat index. That's here in town. Go out to Eaton, 98 degrees. And the model's doing something a little bit weird on Sunday. It's suggesting there's a pocket of cooler air trying to move in. I'm investigating to see if that's going to actually happen, or is that just a blip? We'll have more in your forecast coming up at 10.
All right, Jonathan, thanks so much. A House Judiciary Subcommittee held a hearing today examining competition and regulation in the U.S. airline industry as the market grows increasingly concentrated. Fox's Rich Edson has more on the story from Washington.
The big four U.S. airlines, American, Delta, Southwest, and United, control about 80% of domestic air travel. Now Congress is examining whether there's enough competition among these national air carriers.
Everything from seat selection to carry-ons are now perks that you get to pay for. This is the predictable result of a market that has been allowed to consolidate for over 60 years.
Consumer advocates argue as a result, flyers face high prices and fewer ticket options. And with the collapse of Spirit Airlines in May, the market tightened even further. House Republicans argue Biden-era regulators aided Spirit's collapse by blocking its merger with JetBlue in 2024.
17,000 people lost their job because the Biden DOJ said, no, we don't want a middle-class, lower-cost airline buying a super low-cost airline.
House Democrats argue high fuel prices from the Iran war drove Spirit's failure. They say strong antitrust enforcement is critical to protecting flyers.
Not because of antitrust enforcement. Spirit is gone because of the massive spike in jet fuel costs.
Industry leaders are urging lawmakers to make improvements to air travel infrastructure.
Not by over-regulating an already very competitive industry, but by focusing on building a new air traffic control system.
The most pro-competitive thing this Congress can do is to clear policy bottlenecks.
Flyers traveling this summer are already paying more. Federal inflation data show airfares jumped more than 26% in May compared with a year ago. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
In Washington, the reflecting pool is still green and the bottom still peeling after $16 million in taxpayer money was spent to restore it. And now President Trump is blaming vandalism, but Democrats say they don't buy it. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee sent letters to the contractors overseeing the makeover, asking some tough questions about what happened. The president says the renovation went fine, blaming the algae and apparent tears in the sealant on vandalism without providing any evidence.
The congressional elections are going to be about Trump failing to provide honest, effective government. And the reflecting pool is, in fact, a kind of metaphor.
I do think that folks are, right to be skeptical when they hear about things like this, and we have so many other pressing priorities.
Democrats on the Oversight Committee have set a July 8th deadline for a response from those contractors.
The Ebola outbreak is expanding quickly, and Kenya's health minister has now ordered the U.S. to stop building a quarantine facility in the country. It was meant to house Americans exposed to Ebola, but it has been met with deadly protests. And now it appears the government is acknowledging that most Kenyans don't want it. At the same time, the health ministry has still claimed the facility is perfectly safe because it's being built on an airfield with limited access.
The fear that the Laikipia facility could serve as a vehicle for Ebola importation is scientifically unfounded.
There are now around 1,100 confirmed cases. Most are in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where tens of thousands of Ebola contacts haven't even been tested. The World Health Organization says it is the highest first-month caseload they have ever seen.
A COVID-19 study on vaccine effectiveness has been published after being blocked from a CDC journal. The study found the COVID-19 vaccine is 55% effective against hospitalizations related to the virus. Research also found that the vaccine reduced COVID-19 related emergency department and urgent care clinic visits by 50%. It works, in other words. The published findings come after the Trump administration decided not to run that study in a CDC publication earlier this year, arguing the study's design might lead to false assumptions and flawed results. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration efforts on restrictions regarding SNAP food benefit uses. The judge says Trump's Agriculture Department lacks the authority to ban using SNAP benefits to buy soft drinks and candy. Several states earlier this year received approval from the department to put that ban in place. SNAP recipients in 5 states then sued the agency in March, saying the move would destabilize food access for those on food stamps. They also claimed that it would make it hard for people with chronic illnesses to access food and drinks needed to maintain health, such as items used to manage blood sugar.
His team, who actually has a connection here to Atlanta. That's next in Fox 5 Sports.
About what this moment meant to him.
It's a good feeling because I have a lot of friends in Atlanta. I went to school there and I play for a lot of Atlanta. It's going to be a very good feeling for me and for my family too.
What does this mean that you and the team will be in the World Cup for the first time in 5 decades?
It's a feeling that you can't really express because every soccer player, you dream about playing World Cup. But when you're from Haiti, you have this dream inside of you, but you can't really speak it because people will not believe you. So now to make this happen, we're very happy, and we hope maybe during the World Cup, after the World Cup, if we can represent them better, also win some game. I think maybe that can be a change for the country.
Yeah, how fun is that? And I've heard the stadium in downtown Atlanta is absolutely rocking right now, tied up at 2-2. I'll get to them in a second, but let's take a look at some of the scores going on today. Bosnia knocking off Qatar earlier this afternoon, 3-1 the final score. The first 2 goals in that game were own goals by Qatar. And then Switzerland defeated host country Canada 2-1. And then some games are currently going on as we cannot show you highlights right now. Haiti they're now in a draw 2-2. I've seen some videos of the crowd. It's absolutely electric. Of course, Haiti was looking for their first goal for their country, not 1, but 2. And then Brazil also currently beating Scotland 2-0 right now. And to the NBA, can't believe we're talking about basketball right now. The Hawks adding 2 new faces in the draft last night. With the 8th pick, they selected guard Kingston Flemings, and with the 23rd pick, they got forward Zuby Ejiofor. Hawks president of basketball operations Ansi Sulla spoke about the exciting new additions who we're going to be hearing from tomorrow.
Want to keep this thing going. Sustainability, continuity is a big deal here for us, and we felt like we got 2 guys that just made a lot of sense for our program. They fit everything that we were about. They fit everything about what we want to do moving forward, and we just couldn't be more excited for those 2 guys.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, excited to meet the new guys. And the Braves are looking to avoid a sweep tonight against the Padres. They dropped the first 2 games of the series. It's going to be Martin Perez against JP Sears. So really looking to avoid that sweep. It's like they've kind of gotten a little bit shaky in the month of June. Also some news, AJ Smith-Shaver starts his rehab assignment. He had been out with an injury this entire year. So exciting news that they're going to be getting him back soon. Also Kyle Farmer rehabbing in Columbus. So some promising hopefully additions soon to the team.
I was there on Father's Day. They gave up 8 runs in the second inning to the Brewers. So, yeah, you're right. It's not the way that they started, but it's a long season.
Yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, so I don't absolutely hate that, but no.
The Brewers are good this year.
They're great. 2 first-place teams, and Braves still holding on to first place in the division. So, it's not like they're playing bad baseball, but just need to tune up a few things.
And I agree with you. It's so wonderful to see the crowds. And I'm so happy for the Haitians that they scored 2 goals. That's something to go home happy with, right?
They've been roaring.
All right. Thank you for being here. We'll see you for Fox Local at 10 o'clock. Our news then.
Hello?
Hello and welcome into the Pulse. I'm Christine Spiro.
And I'm Ariel Onstad, joined by Eric Perry.
Hello.
You know him. And Lexi Bowden. You know her.
Hey, Lexi.
Hello.
So you guys, let's go beyond the headlines tonight. I know there's some spicy ones.
Yes,
I feel like we
there
can
are.
all keep it,
Try. We won't
PG.
commit to anything yet.
No promises.
We're going to go beyond the headlines, guys. Take a look at the stories that have you talking. And tonight, Mexico City's World Cup fans have deemed an end as their unofficial mascot. I love this guy. And is there a right way to bag your groceries? Some people, Eric Perry, would say yes.
Yeah.
And a New York Knicks fan loses her job after last week's parade. Ooh.
All right, so we are a couple weeks now into the FIFA World Cup, and Atlanta, of course, is hosting its 4th match of the tournament. It's happening right now, and it's been a crazy one so far. If you have watched a game at some point, you've certainly seen, though, these argue they're an important player safety measure.
I don't know about safety measure. I don't mind them, but I do have to say, like, being inside Atlanta Stadium, and you have all the fans from the other countries that aren't used to these hydration breaks, they start booing them.
Yeah.
They don't like it. But then the stadium, of course, starts playing like Cotton Eye Joe or something really fun to get the crowd back into it. But it's something that, like you said, has never happened before, so it's new. People are used to things. They don't like change. But I don't mind it. Take a little break. Honestly, compared to other sports, too, think about all the breaks you have in football
American
and
football.
Totally.
And soccer is really the only one that's continuous 90 plus whatever injury stoppage time. But it's so different from all the other sports. I'm like, I don't mind a 3-minute hydration break.
You are running back and forth
my gosh.
across the field
So
nonstop,
much running.
and you can't. And like the camera sometimes makes the pitch look smaller than it is, but when you get out there to the stadium, you're like they're covering how much ground back and forth. So, and you think about the size of an NBA court, it's like that. The whole entire pitch, and they're running back. Let them have a hydration
Absolutely.
break.
And
Also,
a lot of these, a lot of these stadiums are outdoors too. I mean, we have the luxury
and America in the summer
of having a roof at Mercedes-Benz, but LA Stadium, Houston, Boston,
Houston,
which
Philly.
it does get
Very
hot
hot.
there.
Yeah.
And all that running these guys are doing. I mean, I would think the players would be loving these hydration breaks. I would think.
I think a lot of the people who are complaining are people sitting in the stands drinking their beers and not doing the running themselves.
Yeah,
Like you said, when I went down there last week, I was just on the field. I was like, this is huge. And they are not just running, but kicking and going back and forth. Like, give them a little break. I mean, football, please. They stop every 2 centimeters.
They do.
Like, come on.
They do.
Yeah.
Like, you said you're running so much, and sometimes you're sprinting, sometimes you're. It's not like you're at a leisurely jog the whole time. There's been, some studies done, or I think they put a tracker on one of the players, and he ran 9 miles during a match.
Wow.
It's insane. They're just going back and forth, up and down the field. Like, they're continuously moving.
And think about it. I mean,